Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 23 of Let's Talk Immigration. Um, Not much that I need to talk about today before we jump into question and answer. So if you have a question, um, share your question on Facebook or YouTube or Telegram, and I'll get to them in order that they're shared. Okay. First tip today that I wanted to share, because it comes up very often in immigration, um, is that arriving new immigrants into the U.S., when you first get to your first address where you expect to receive your green card, we strongly advise you, as the post office advises you, to make sure your name is on that mailbox. So you don't think that I'm making this up or crazy. Here is the United States Postal Service's tips for postal customers with centralized mailbox. Now, it's 20 years old, but it's still the same, okay? Go all the way to the last page. The very last tip, to prevent the possible delay, non-delivery, misdelivery, or loss of mail, the names of everyone who receives mail through your mailbox should appear either on the outside or the inside of the mailbox. Now, if you have an old-fashioned mailbox out in the country, that means the outside. But if you're in an apartment, which a lot of new immigrants to the U.S. are, you need to write inside your mailbox on a piece of tape or piece of paper that you tape to the mailbox who your name is. Look at it as a way to introduce yourself to the mail person. And this way, when your green card comes, there will not be a mistake. I say this because if there is a mistake, what happens is you have to apply for a replacement green card. And right now that's taking 20 months, like a year and a half. So that can be frustrating for an arriving new immigrant who wants their green card and they will not get it for a year and a half because it did not come in their mailbox correctly. Okay. So everybody knows this. I've told you now. So that's the tip I wanted to share today. As far as what I've been up to, I've been working on the asylum seekers versus Johnson case a lot, preparing the opposition to the government's motion to dismiss. We had a hate group, a group that hates immigrants, file an amicus brief in support of the Biden administration in that case. But fortunately, we're also getting an amicus from Advocates for Immigrants, an organization called CARE, and that's located in Washington, D.C. And they're going to, there are two CAREs. This is the one that's in Washington, D.C., and they're going to submit an amicus as well. And the judge has issued an order in that case, asylum seekers case, that says he's going to consider the government's motion to dismiss before he considers our motion for class certification, which is understandable. So that'll be fine. Let me think. What else is going on? Naveed versus Blinken, we do not have an update. We're still waiting on the judge's order on the motion to dismiss. DV 2020-2021, we do not have an update. We are still waiting on the appeals court's opinion on the Biden administration's appeal. Sonny Santos Wilson, the three group lawsuits we have in the Eastern District in New York, we're still waiting on Judge Kogan to rule on our motion for leave to file an amended complaint. So that's what's going on the group lawsuits. So let's jump in with questions. Okay. Diane says, greeting to the master, Curtis Morrison. You don't have to call me master. Curtis is fine. Do judicial lawsuits, good luck, become obsolete with the passage of time? No. Lawsuits do not become obsolete. Can the lawyer's office guarantee it 134 for the winner in case it requested by the consul, and how much is it? The lawyer's office does not do affidavit of supports, the Form I-134s. Let me rephrase that. We will not sponsor you, but we will help you prepare it. We will help your sponsor prepare it if they have a question, if they get stuck. I hope that makes sense, right? For those who don't know the context of the question, diversity visa selectees are not required to have a Form I-134 that shows that they have like a sponsor in the U.S. However, if the consular officer has doubts about whether or not the applicant, whether they will be what's called a public charge, whether they will support themselves, so this form really helps overcome those doubts. So we recommend it if you do have a sponsor in the U.S. to have them complete a Form I-134. It's mostly a simple form, but there are 2 or 3 questions that don't make sense because the form was designed for someone that's already in the U.S. So some of these questions for a beneficiary that was in the U.S., that's what USCIS does a lot of. So some of these questions do not make as much sense, and you have to think about them. Okay. On DV 2021, what's news? Your journey is over unless you are a good luck plaintiff, or you can benefit, or go plaintiff, or you can benefit from the Ray order. Okay. Hello, sir. Any news about DV 2021? Your journey is over unless you are a good luck plaintiff, or you can benefit, or go plaintiff, or you can benefit from the Ray order. We are waiting for almost 18 months. Well, if you're not a good luck plaintiff and you can't benefit, or go plaintiff, you can't benefit from the Ray order, you're going to be waiting a long time. Hello, Mr. Morrison. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. In California, we've got more rain than usual, so it's very green. Okay, the area that I live in a year ago looked more like a desert, and right now it looks sort of like Costa Rica. It's pretty crazy, the contrast. So, and I think I'm doing good because I'm enjoying nature. You know, it's nice to be in green space. What's new in DV 2021? Okay, as I said before, to the other people that just say DV 2021, your journey is over unless you are a good luck plaintiff or a go plaintiff, or you can benefit from the Ray order. Okay, what's new for DV 2021? What I just said. James, good evening. Good evening, James. Yes, James, I know you're good luck. Okay. We got a YouTube question. Sayara says, thanks for updates and all your efforts. Yes, we've been waiting 3 years. Being a U.S. citizen, my case is still at NVC. I think you mean your beneficiary's case is at NVC. I applied in 2020 DQ IR1. Is there a way to find a timeline for IR1? Okay, so here's the information you didn't give me. You didn't give me your embassy. Every embassy has a different backlog. Most of those backlogs we don't know. Some we do. We know Ankara's backlog right now. Okay, and to some extent, we know Islamabad's is bad. Okay, and Abu Dhabi's is bad. So let me go back to your question here. 2020 DQ. I don't know when your DQ date is, and I don't know your embassy. So those are the 2 things that make it a challenge for me to help you with your question. Okay. Messanisa says, during the lawsuit hearing in Good Luck, Biden's lawyer said that remedy will come from Congress. Do you think that is possible? No. At one time I did, and that's why we did a lobbying effort to try to get Congress to come up with a solution. But right now, Congress is not really a functioning body. They don't the current makeup of Congress is not designed to solve problems. So I do not think that remedy will come from Congress. Also, I don't think it should. I think that the government, in this case, good luck. I think Secretary Blinken has violated the law, and I think the judge, this remedy needs to come from a judge. Okay, so he doesn't do it again. Another YouTube question: can someone file a lawsuit for a spouse visa for LPRs as well? They are not even working F2A visas. They are giving interviews for people DQ in January 2020 since 2 years. Okay. The answer to that question is, if you have any government benefit that's been unreasonably delayed, you can file a lawsuit under the Administrative Procedures Act and also the Mandamus Act, alleging that unreasonable delay. So just because your visa category is a family preference visa category instead of an immediate relative, you can still file that lawsuit. You didn't mention what embassy, but it's almost as if I can guess the embassy is Islamabad, simply because January 2020 sounds like Islamabad. And I will say that if you're filing a lawsuit for a mandamus at that particular embassy, there's a little bit higher chance that they're going to fight you, because the administration apparently has some vested interest in throttling immigration from Islamabad, from Pakistan. I don't know why that is, but we see a higher rate of the government fighting our mandamus lawsuits that are filed on behalf of Pakistani visa applicants. So here's the thing, though. I still recommend that you file them. I mean, if you want something in the world that I live in, you have to fight for it. So the idea that you would organically just kind of wait around and see what happens and hope for the best, I do not recommend that. Okay, let's go on to the next question. We should leave the DV or stay with you because it's almost 2 years and we are not getting a good news response from the government. Stay with me. It sounds like you're a good luck plaintiff. I need people to identify. Okay, if you're a plaintiff in a lawsuit, identify which lawsuit. If you have a visa category, identify which visa category. Context for questions, very important. Okay, so I'm going to just guess that you are a good luck plaintiff or Gomez. I don't know what you mean by stay with me. I mean, you're not here in the room with me. I don't know. I don't understand the question, actually. We're not waiting on the government in Gomez or good luck. We're waiting on the court right now. Okay. So there's like 3 parts of your question that are not logical when they're put together. And I understand it's confusing. I'm not blaming you, but that's why I can't answer your question. I mean, if the court finds that the government acted unlawfully, but don't want to reserve visas, can the court order Congress to move or separation of powers? Wow. You need to come to the U.S. and go to law school, because that is a great question. The court cannot order Congress to act. But that's an interesting question, and I want to commend you for asking that question. No, the court cannot order Congress to act. Save DV 2020, please. One of the people that are trying to do that. Thank you. I think this is Latin. Maybe French or Spanish. I don't know. Angel. English is best here. Ahmed Alvi says, I want to participate in this lawsuit too, Naveed, but I think it's expired. Okay, Naveed has not expired, but it is too late to participate in a lawsuit. The way Morrison Urena does group lawsuits is you need to be with us before we file them, not after we file them and say, hey, can we get on the train that just left the station? No, we don't do that. We don't stop the train to let more people on. So if you wish to have us represent you, you have us represent you. Don't wait until after we do good work and then say, hey, I want to benefit from that work that doesn't work. Okay. I don't charge for free consults. So you can always come to me and ask questions to better understand your options. Okay. Save DV 2020. Please. It's not up to me right now. It's up to the Circuit Court of Appeals for the District Court of Columbia. Is there any hope for good luck plaintiff? Oh, you've identified what lawsuit you're on. Thank you. Yes, it would be premature to give up hope. Now, at the same time, I need every good luck plaintiff to understand, even if we win, even if we beat the appeal in good luck and win summary judgment, not all good luck plaintiffs are going to be issued visas, okay? Judge Mehta only reserved 6,914 visas. We've asked him to expand that number up to 10,000, but there are close to 20,000 good luck plaintiffs. So not everybody will get a visa. Just in case says, I'm a DV 2022. I was in the US 4 days last year. I will come back next month after 11th month. Will it be a problem? It could, Justin. It very much could. And so I recommend you not wait until the last minute to get back in the United States. Ideally, it will not be a problem. But when you get a green card, you have to understand you permanently reside in the U.S. That doesn't mean, hey, I'm going to live in this other country. It doesn't work. Also, be careful about these questions on social media. Okay, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. Here's the problem. The Customs and Border Patrol has a lot of discretion to determine at the border when people are entering whether or not they are actually permanently residing in the U.S. or not. So while there's some guidelines like, hey, don't be outside the U.S. more than 6 months, or don't be outside the U.S. more than a year within the first year of you becoming an immigrant. Those are guidelines. That doesn't prevent the Customs and Border Patrol from coming to a different conclusion by taking your phone and say, it looks like you're living in Spain. You're not living in the United States. So they can do stuff like that. Okay. So in my view, it's not worth the risk. If you get a green card and you need to be outside the U.S. for a prolonged period of time, like Justin, there is something you can apply for, a reentry permit. Any immigration attorney can help you with this. And I recommend that because then you can spend time outside the U.S. without the insecurity, anxiety of not knowing if you will be able to re-enter. Okay. Mr. Morrison, any good news about DV 2021? Thank you for so much. Well, if you're a DV 2021 client, DV 2021 selectee, and you were not a good luck plaintiff or a go plaintiff, and you cannot benefit from the Ray order, your journey is over. So that's not good news. Oh, there somebody said, I'm a good luck plaintiff. Good job. Thank you for correctly identifying yourself. No good news for good luck. No news. We are waiting on the opinion from the Circuit Court for the Circuit Court of Appeals for the District Court of Columbia. 3-judge panel. We're waiting on their opinion. What I just said, basically, the law, same question, same answer. James, you know better. You know better. I talk to you every day, James. You know that there's no good luck update. I don't understand why you're asking that here. You can come up with better questions, James. I expect better questions from you. You ask me better questions on Telegram. You could come up with better questions. What's happened to DV 2021 now? Okay. If you were a DV 2021 selectee, but you were not a good luck plaintiff, a go plaintiff, and you cannot benefit from the Ray order, your journey is over. Good morning. I'm a good luck plaintiff. Thank you for identifying yourself from Algeria. Okay. If we win the appeal, do you think that people here in Algiers can benefit from it? I would hope so. But we not only need to win the appeal, but we also need to win summary judgment, which will be a step that we do after winning the appeal. I asked because our consultant worked well comparing to others. Okay. And my team has done a translation from Spanish, hypocritical double standard. If you're talking about the United States government, I would agree. James asked, my case wasn't DQ. If we win, what are my chances? Good luck. Okay, I don't think, in my view, I don't think whether or not your case was DQ matters anymore, because KCC doesn't even do that anymore. And all the embassy is the one that determines whether or not whether documents are make you eligible for getting the visa. So KCC is no longer in that position. So the people that had an advantage by being DQ, I don't know, but I don't think that is going to be an advantage for you anymore. But I don't know. You're welcome, Justin. If we win summary judgment, what will the process of calling the plaintiffs by their case number or other method? To clarify, I don't think calling is what the State Department will do. I think they will send what's called a 2NL, the same process that happens in a regular DV year. And by the same process, I mean it's not going to be in order of case number. Never in the history of the DV program have DVs been issued in order of case number. So I don't think it's going to magically happen for the good luck plaintiffs. There are a few different reasons for that, different backlogs at different embassies. And, there may be a case number that's high at an embassy that does not have a backlog, that gets an interview, and a case number that's low in an embassy that does have a backlog that does not get an interview, because the embassy really matters a lot. So in a normal year, the AV stage date matters, but I don't think that that's going to come into play with good luck plaintiffs. But all this is speculating. We don't know. Only consular officers get to decide who gets visas. Virashan says, hi, Curtis. Just wondering, do you know the true number of good luck plaintiffs there are at the moment? Will you be engaging with good luck plaintiffs to find the true number? Well, I know it was more than 23,000, and 3,000 of them got visas in September of 2021. So now it's about 20,000. I don't know the exact number, and I will tell you this, it changes every day, because every day we have a good luck plaintiff that either decides to enter the U.S. on asylum, or enters the U.S. on another kind of visa that puts them on a different path, or dies, or commits some sort of crime that makes them ineligible for a visa, or goes to a visitor visa interview and gives misrepresentation, giving them a bar from being able to be issued a visa, or comes to the U.S. on a tourist visa and overstays that, giving them a bar from entry on a regular DV. So every day, that number is going to change. It's going to continue to change. It's not going to get bigger. It's going to get smaller. But no, I don't track that. There's nobody paying me to track that. There's no, nothing can be gained from tracking that. Just, it's about 20,000. Any preferences for persons who got interview invitation in 2020? Any preferences? Okay, I think that I'm going to reinterpret this question to mean if Gomez appeal is one, well, the people that already had an interview letter have an advantage over Gomez class members who did not have an interview letter. I don't know, but I think that there's A good chance. A good chance. Hani says, hello, council. No AI or chat GPT today. Thank you. Thank you, Hani. No chat GPT. Caused, if anybody wants to go back to episode 22, you can see me have a mental breakdown because I think it was Hanny that confronted me with what chat GPT 4 thought that the Circuit Court of Appeals will do in the Good Luck and Gomez appeals. And I don't like robots. Don't trust them. You know, if it was up to me, I would rather have R2D2 be the judge. Okay, not Chat GPT 4. Chat GPT 4 is too young to be a judge. Just born. Doesn't know the way the world really is. Okay. How good luck plaintiff 6,000 visas will be distributed if we win? James, that's related to something that I was talking about earlier, and that is I think it's going to be just like normally they are distributed, meaning not in case number order, and the embassies that you're waiting on are going to be a big factor. Ideally, you'll be waiting on embassies that don't have a big backlog, but I know not everyone's in that situation. Also, we don't know what embassies will have a big backlog when this actually happens, because the embassies that have a big backlog today may be the ones that don't have a backlog when this happens, right? I'm from Nepal. I'm good luck plaintiff. Is there any hope? I think you've already asked that question. It would be premature to give up hope. You have an advantage being from Nepal because Kathmandu is one of the most efficient, well-run embassies in the entire system. They know how to do high volume, diversity visa, immigrant visa. Times I say visa. Diversity visa interviews. They can do many of them very fast. Very impressive embassy. I'm very happy we have a bunch of clients that are taken good care of by that embassy. So you have an advantage being from Nepal. You're welcome. Okay. So many questions today. Okay. Simsim says, I'm registered in the Good Luck case 2021. I'm currently in France seeking asylum. Can I travel from France to America? Okay. Very interesting question. So if we beat the appeal, and we win summary judgment, and the State Department resumes the diversity visa issuances for Good Luck, I think that the way this will work is if you get an interview letter to the country you were at back in the day, you don't disclose that, but if you get an interview letter for that country, you then go to, we would email the embassy of Paris, and we would say, Paris, look, they have an interview letter. Can you transfer their case and take their case? And Paris would probably accept the transfer. I might be wrong. We might be able to transfer the case even before that point. But I know we can't transfer the case until after we win summary judgment and State Department unfreezes the DV 2021 cases and allows us to starts issuing those visas. So the question, can I travel from France to America? No, you can never travel to the United States without a visa, right? So if this situation happens where we win, then you would want to try to have your interview in Paris. And if you're issued a visa from Paris, then yes, you can travel to the U.S. from France with that visa. Okay, Abdu is following up on an earlier question and says, I mean that U.S. Embassy in Algiers worked well in 2021. Not 2020, I forget. So I don't know if reserve visas will be used in countries where a lot of visas were already issued. I don't think that will be a factor. It is my view that that will not be a factor. Sim said, forgot to say he was from Sudan. Okay. Well, Sim, if you could get your interview in Paris instead of Sudan, that will probably be better because Khartoum has been understaffed and has not been good at adjudicating a lot of immigrant visas, especially diversity visas, in the last few years. So I hope your asylum claim in France is successful. And if you win the DV, if you already won the DV, if we win the appeal and you're able to get an interview in Paris, I hope you consider coming to the USA. But there's advantages to France that are not in the US. Keep that in mind, okay? We have a gun problem in the United States. So we have other problems. There's problems everywhere, but the gun problem is really hitting close lately. If we win the appeal and our process, is there a chance that we can go above the 6,900 number like it was for DV 2022? Yes, but that would be, okay, first of all, if Judge Mehta decides that he finds our request compelling and he ups the number from 6,914 to a bigger number, that's one possibility. Or if State Department just doesn't count well and they issue more than 6,914, like they did for DV 2022. But I don't have any control over their inability to count. For those that don't understand what I'm talking about there, in DV 2022, the State Department issued more than 55,000 visas, like a couple thousand or something. They used more green cards than they theoretically had. It's taken a long time. We want some hope when the Judge Mehta gives us our justice for DV 2020 and there's any news about it. Okay, you are not paying attention to the emails that you receive as a Gomez class member from the Gomez Class Council, or if you're one of my plaintiffs, from our updates, because this is not in Judge Mehta's hands right now. Judge Mehta has done everything he can for DV 2020. And right now, it is in the hands of the 3-judge panel of the Circuit Court of Appeals for the District Court of Columbia. That's the court we are waiting on an opinion for, okay? So if we get a favorable ruling out of that appeals court, then Judge Mehta will lift his stay and the Gomez visas can finally be issued. When will the decision for DV 2020? Why are we waiting so long? I don't know when the decision is going to be. I don't understand why everybody asks that question over and over. I feel like my life right now, half of my life, I spend half of my days giving the same answer to the same question. I do not know when the appeals court will issue their opinion, okay? You're waiting so long because appeals take a long time and the Biden administration has appealed our victories, okay? Why is the visa bulletin no movement for F2B, my case 2016? How many still movement visa bulletin for F2B? Okay, the reason that there is no movement in the visa bulletin for family preference categories and why there's retrogression for some categories is because the Secretary Blinken, the Secretary of State of the United States, has prioritized students and visitors to the U.S. I don't think that this is just his idea. I think it came from Biden. There's a line in cable that says that that Blinken sent that said this is in line with Biden's promise to foreign policy that helps the middle class or something like that. And so Biden has this misperception that the middle class of America is helped if there's more people at Disneyland or going to college in the US, as opposed to like actual family members of the people that work at Disneyland being able to reunite with them, the children of the employees of Disneyland being able to come to the US. Biden is stopping that. Blinken, Biden, same thing. They're in cahoots. So until Secretary Blinken stops prioritizing students and visitors over immigrants, we're going to have a problem. And that's why the visa backlog is so big, and that's why the visa bulletin isn't moving. If you want to change that, and you're in the United States, you're the petitioner, you have one member of U.S. Congress and 2 U.S. senators, and you need to make sure that they know that you are mad as hell. So contact your member of Congress, contact your 2 U.S. senators and say, why is the State Department stopping spouses of green card holders from coming to the U.S., children of green card holders from coming to the U.S.? Because it makes me angry, but I'm just one person, and I can't change everything by myself. Okay. Job says, go to U.S. as asylum or wait DV 2020 decision. That really is a personal decision that you need to make, Joab, based upon your individual situation. If you are in danger of persecution, you can definitely seek asylum in the U.S. because we are open for asylum, okay? If you are not facing persecution where you are, or you do not have a threat of future persecution, do not try to seek asylum because you will not have success, okay? Wait for the DV decision. Also, understand that if you seek asylum, you abort, you destroy pretty much the DV path, because you can't, well, we don't think that your interview will be able to be in the U.S. We don't know for sure. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is immigration law treats asylum seekers differently than it treats people that are here for other reasons. So I understand why you're making it like a binary choice between asylum or DV 2020 decision, and some people have chosen asylum and have entered at Tijuana. And some good luck plaintiffs, actually, and some Gomez class members, many, I would say. But I would say that that's a much more difficult, much more expensive path. And if you're going through the Darien Gap or something, it's extremely dangerous. So it's a decision you need to make on your own, right? It's a very difficult decision. DV is small in Johannesburg. So do you know if the embassy in South Africa is efficient and process the DV 2021 plaintiffs needed for a visa? How would I know that? Because I don't know what's going on in Johannesburg in the future, okay? We know in the past, Johannesburg has been a good embassy, but not always, okay? So what's going to happen at a point in the future is not something I can tell you today. Do you know if there are delays or inefficiency? Good luck, plaintiff, DV 2020. There are not delays or inefficiencies or anything right now. It's frozen. Okay. If you're asking me delays or inefficiencies about Johannesburg, I would say it's mixed. I would say in 2022, it did a lot better than 2020 and 2021. Okay. It's not my favorite embassy, but it's not the worst. You're welcome. He says, I noticed that we ask you about the appeal outcome. You always add if we win the appeal and summary judgment. My question is, how can we lose summary judgment if we win the appeal? Especially that is in the front of Judge Mehta. Great question, Hanny. Really smart question. Go to law school. You need to be a lawyer. You may already be one. The standard, okay, the order that has been appealed by the Biden administration in the good luck order is not the final judgment order. It was just a preliminary injunctive order that reserved the visas. The standard, well, basically, and it said we had a likelihood of success on the merits. The standard for summary judgment is different. So the summary judgment decision is different. It's just a different decision. At the same time, it is very unlikely that we would lose summary judgment, in my opinion. I don't normally say that, but it's very unlikely. From litigating in front of Judge Mehta for 3 years of the DV program, I can tell you that I understand a little bit about his thinking, and I think that he is inclined to grant a summary judgment based upon what's been filed, especially since the government really messed up their filings in the summary judgment of Good Luck. Okay, they made some crazy mistakes. So I'm very confident. I think that we will win summary judgment, but I don't know that. So I always have to say, and we win summary judgment. Okay. But chances are really good that that will happen. Thank you for the broadcast. I apologize if we already answered it. In Naveed versus Blinken, is there any update on the case? Great question. No update on the actual lawsuit. I think we did have another plaintiff scheduled where we still have 6 plaintiffs of the 10 that do not have a path. So in my view, that case is not a success. You know, we need to get all 10 of those plaintiffs issued visas. And that's frustrating because I know I wanted to file another case similar to this one after the success of this case, but we're not there yet. So, but as far as in the court proceedings, the government filed a motion to dismiss. We filed an opposition. They filed a reply, and now we're waiting for the judge to issue an order on that motion before we can move forward. How many visas were reserved by Judge Mehta for 2021? I can only tell you with Good Luck, it was 6,914. For Go, Judge Mehta reserved some more visas, but that's not my case, and I don't have that number in my head. It's much smaller than 6,914. Also, he's not the only judge that reserved visas for 2021. Judge Chutkan, with her Ray order, reserved visas for 2021 as well for people that were waiting on certain embassies. So many questions. For visa, monthly interview for F2B is good. 200 every month. Get interview, maybe limit 2023. Get visa 25 is good for movement visa bulletin or now. And I'm sorry, I don't know for sure what you're asking. I would disagree that I don't know what embassy you're asking. But I would disagree with generally that the State Department is doing a good job with F2Bs. What about the backlog? NBC, March 50,000, upload. March 38,000, why? Okay. I know what he's talking about. There's something called a visa backlog report that's published every month. And I sent a tweet about this. Let's see if I can pull it up. Let me share my screen. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Okay, so the visa National Visa Center Immigrant Visa Backlog Report, when they published the visa backlog numbers for as of February 28th, they said it was 439,000. And then they went in a week later. That was February 28th. And last weekend, we noticed, somebody pointed out to me on the 9th, that they changed the number. They said the visa backlog is 409,000. So they miscounted by 30,000. I can't explain that. And I don't understand how the State Department can change that number without even putting a footnote to explain what they're doing. It shows a lot of disrespect. It's not to immigrants. It's not treating immigrants or immigration attorneys, for that matter, with dignity to let us know what's going on. Instead, they just randomly and arbitrarily change things. So the backlog was 439, and then they said for the same day, all of a sudden, no, it's 409. I think that's what you're talking about. I'm not sure. So yeah, then this 50,000 changed to 38,000. So there were 50,000 scheduled for interview, and now 38,000 were scheduled for interview. Maybe they canceled 12,000 interviews. I think if they canceled 12,000 interviews, I would know about it. So I don't think that's what happened, but I don't know what happened. I'm as clueless as you. I'm hoping on their inability of counting. That's true. Believe it or not, sometimes the State Department's incompetence does play in your favor. So don't knock it too much. There are many DV 2022 selectees in the U.S. only because the State Department does not know how to count. So pretty crazy. In their defense, they're using like the first computers and they've never updated them. You know, they were like really old computers from the 90s. Okay. Hi, Mr. Morrison. Those did not receive interview appointment and low case numbers, what they must do. Thank you. Well, I don't have the context here. I don't know if you're a DV23 selectee or something else. If you're a DV 2023 selectee and you've already submitted your DS-260 and selected your embassy on that, you're probably, and you're current in the visa bulletin, there's nothing you can do but be patient. And it says, thanks. Justin says, if I will be denied at the point of entry, can I contact you? Yes, but there's nothing I will probably be able to. Yes, you can contact me. Okay. By the way, the solution I have for people in your exact situation is always get on a plane right now. Try to come back to the U.S. because there is a process if they put you back on the plane and send you back to where you are, where you can recover what they think that your green card's abandoned. You could recover it, and there's a process for that. But we want to avoid it if possible. So yes, get on a plane. Try to come to the U.S. Get to that point of entry. Give me a call. Second question, quite hard. Yes, I love difficult questions. As I understand, the Court of Appeals will not issue an order in good luck, but an opinion, correct? And then we'll send it back the case to Judge Mehta to issue an order consistent with that opinion. Right. Well, that's if, understand this, this is when things get confusing. There's a myth that the Court of Appeals in good luck is considering one issue, and they are not. They're considering like 6 issues in good luck, 5 issues in Ray, 5 issues in Gomez, 6 issues in Go, and then there's an appeal, a cross appeal of Go, and they're considering all these different issues and a lot of overlap. But the reality is there are many different issues that the the appeals court is considering. And so the opinion can say, okay, the government was right here, the plaintiffs were right here, the government was wrong here, the plaintiffs were wrong here. I mean, there could be many different combinations of what that opinion looks like. Okay, so you are correct. If the government finds that Judge Mehta made a mistake with one of these many issues, they would remand the case, that's what it's called, back to Judge Mehta. Let's send back the case back to Judge Mehta to issue an order consistent with what they think he should do. But if they agree with everything we did and deny all the government's appeals, I don't think that a remand would not be appropriate. They just uphold Judge Mehta's decision, and then he can remove his stay because he has a stay on the proceedings and the implementation of his orders. So, well, that's for Gomez. He has a stay on the good luck proceedings, but not an implementation of the order because he hasn't issued the summary judgment order yet. I hope that you've got a sense of the answer in what I just said. It's confusing stuff. Can you help me overturning the Custom Border Patrol decision? That's not how it works, really. If the Custom Border Patrol decides that you're not eligible for entry into the U.S., re-entry into the U.S., you really are stuck doing that other process. The exception of that is if you were seeking asylum or something crazy. Don't assume things are going to go bad. Take actions today to prevent them from going bad. Okay? Book your plane ticket. Hanny asked, what if the three judges write three different opinions? What will happen? Well, it takes two judges to overturn a district court judge's decision. It takes a majority, okay? So if you can't get two of the three judges to agree that Judge Mehta did something wrong, then our order stands and we're in good shape. So, but the thing is, sometimes judges can do different opinions, but two of them still agree about one issue. So two of them could theoretically think that the decision should be overturned, just as two of them could just as easily think that the decision should not be overturned. And then, like I said before, there are many different statement of issues, so there could be different combinations. Bimbo, that's not a question. That's a little @ sign. Okay. Miriam says, please explain about groups whose Visa cards have been approved about 6 years ago that have gone in the military in Iran. Do you expect their visa to be issued soon? In your opinion, can we do nothing? Miriam, if you're talking about the military in Iran can mean two different things under U.S. immigration law. It can mean that you served in IRGC, or SEPA, which is, as of April 2019, is a foreign terrorist organization designated by the Trump administration, but the Biden administration did not change that. So if an Iranian has served in SEPA or IRGC, there's no reason to attend an interview, and there's no reason to expect to be able to be enter in the U.S., okay? Not until that FTO designation is lifted. The FTO, I mean foreign terrorist organization. The U.S. government does not care whether or not it was voluntary or conscripted service. All they care about is if you served one day in IRGC or SEPA, you are not entering the U.S. So, in your question, you don't say what branch of the military, so I have trouble answering that. Hi, Mr. Morrison. Those who did not receive an interview appointment and have low case number, what do they must do? Adon, you are not telling me what visa category you're in or what visa year. Are you DV 2022, 2023? I want to skip to your next question. It's the same question. You're not giving me context for your question, Adon. Come on. Abdir Azirak Oki, Mr. Oki. Hi, Mr. Morrison. Those did not receive interview appointment and have low case number, what they must do? Oh my gosh, the same question. No context. Are you a diversity visa 23 selectee? If so, what's your status? Like, where are you at in the process? Okay, I'm going to need to block y'all if you ask the same question over and over without context. Okay, for Islamabad Embassy backlog, are you planning another lawsuit? I'm debating it. Frankly, my law partner doesn't think that it's right for the firm right now. And so I'm kind of stuck and not sure what we're going to do. I did want to have some success with Naveed before we did another group lawsuit for Islamabad. But at the same time, I'm very frustrated that things do not appear to be changing at that embassy, and I want to do what I can to affect that change. Hello, Mr. Morrison. I'm a Good Luck member. Can I get a tourist visa? Sorry for my English. You can try. The process to do that is a DS-160. Several Good Luck plaintiffs have visited the U.S. Actually, I've met one for lunch a few weeks ago. So you definitely could. But remember, the burden for getting a visitor visa to the U.S. is convincing the consular officer that you intend to only visit, that you will leave when your visit is up, right? So don't go into an immigration interview for a visitor visa and talk about, I want to live in the U.S. because you will not get a visa. Talk about the visit that you want to do, okay? Because you can't use a visitor visa to permanently reside in the U.S. You can't do that. Okay. Haney says, if I come to U.S., I want to do law school. Great. Believe it or not, I think there are maybe 4 or 5 DVs that have come into the U.S. that are in law school now in the U.S. A couple of them, well, at least one of them worked for us. So before DV cases, I had zero knowledge about the law and American system, but I learned a lot with you in immigration cases that you filed. That's because I am teaching law, constitutional and immigration law to the world. That's what I'm doing here. That's my channel. That's my joke. I'm not qualified to be a professor of anything, really. Okay. Just a quick question also. Can I apply a student visa for my spouse for USA while she is waiting for her immigrant visa interview for Islamabad interview? Visitors visas have to be applied for by the person that wants them. So she could apply, but it would be denied. 99.9% chance it would be denied. The State Department does not say that because they love people paying fees that they don't have to issue visas for. It's a very profitable business. But the reality is she intends to immigrate in the U.S., so they will not trust her to leave when her visitor visa, when her visit is up. So they're not going to issue her a visitor visa. It's unfortunate. Miriam says, I appreciate you too, Miriam. Thank you for your question. DV 2022, what happened? What happened? Well, that will be a book and a movie someday, but we have 1 minute left. I can't tell you everything that happened with DV 2020 in 1 minute. And Kona says thanks. So everybody, thank you for a wonderful hour. I look forward to episode 2024 next Wednesday. Bye.